Hey, what's up? In today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 2022 tag champions. Crazy to think we're this far into the series. We only have like 3 or 4 years left. But yeah, that being said, thank you all so much for the love and support you guys have been showing on all the videos and all the Metamorphosis event videos that I've made. It's been a great event for me. We had a lot of ups and downs, but you guys really helped me through it, and you were the reason why I was able to open so many crystals in that event. Just due to your support, you were able to give me that kind of leeway to open those crystals. So that being said, thank you all so much. We are on the road to 1,000 subs. I would love to hit 1,000 subs before July 4th. I don't know if that is possible, but I would love to have a big July 4th opening congratulating 1,000 subs. So if you could, please drop a like, subscribe. I believe my analytics were showing 99 or 91.9% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you are one of those 91 or 92% of people, please consider subscribing, drop a like, do all that. But here we go. Top 5 2022 Tag Champions left. We are very close to the end of the series. It was a very, very fun series to make. But yeah, let's just get right into it. As always, 3 honorable mentions. Like I say in every video, honorable mentions don't have to be the 6, 7, 8 spot. They can just be champions that I want to honorably mention. So that being said, let's go ahead and start off with actually a very new champion that I've kind of been hating on a little bit, but I've watched a lot of gameplay, mostly from Karate Mike, that has a rank 5 Ascended 2 version now. And that is Attuma. The game, I always say this, the gameplay that they show in deep dives and on live streams make the champions look bad. The gameplay they showed for buffed attack, Attuma buffed on attack on the Kabam live stream made Attuma look very mid. I still was not very hyped about this champion whatsoever. But when the community gets involved and the community is allowed to play with Attuma, Attuma's amazing. He looks absolutely fantastic. He still is near kind of the bottom of the box. I still believe that I would prefer Null, Iron Man, and Spot over Attuma. But Attuma might be that 4th spot now. Him and Dust are very close. I think White Tiger is easily the bottom spot on the list of Metamorphosis event champions. He is amazing on attack. I did not know he was this good. He is kind of meant to be a long form ramp up champion. You have to ramp him up pretty hard and pretty far to make him good. And even at that, you really want to take him into matchups where you have a lot of debuffs on you because it's just going to take that much longer to ramp him up. So he does really have target matchups, but in those matchups, he can take Necropolis bosses in like a minute and 20 seconds. He's one of the few characters that can do crazy crap like that. I watched him take Titania in like a minute and a half. It was absolutely nuts. He's also just an amazing defender. He's really annoying to deal with. I still do think he's kind of losing his prowess on defense more and more as more champions get released. But yeah, I think Attuma deserves an honorable mention. I still think he has kind of some weird things to work around on attack, but he just has a lot of utility in this kit. So I wanted to go ahead and mention Attuma. I was wrong about Attuma. He is way better than I thought he was. But yeah. Next up, it's actually another skill champion from this year, and it's actually Valkyrie. So I've never been highest on Valkyrie. There are a lot of Valkyrie mains out there that do love Valkyrie. I've personally just never been the highest, person on Valkyrie. I believe she is pretty good, and there are a lot of nodes and story content that she is amazing for, and there are certain BG's metas where she is pretty good too. I just don't really like her playstyle. I don't like hitting in the blocks champions, excluding Hulkling, because Hulkling, that is kind of a smaller part of his kit. But her whole kit is you just kind of want to hit him in the block and do a bunch of block damage, which is a pretty cool kit. I do like that about her. The reason I kind of have a little bit of disdain towards her is also because she was released alongside Hulkling in an event. She is nowhere near the power level of Hulkling, in my opinion. But yeah, that being said, Valkyrie is a very, very solid character. I still don't see her that much, even though she is a 7-star. I still don't see her that often in the contest. The only time I ever see anybody use her is on those certain block nodes in BGs and in story content. She's not really that great outside of that. I mean, she's solid outside of that, but she's nothing special. She's not that great on defense either. She's not a good defender at all, but she does have solid utility, and she's one of the first characters in the game with the grit passive. She was so early on the grit, like, kind of attack or whatever, or the grit buff, that she didn't have it on her kit yet. It wasn't called grit. It wasn't a thing yet. So that is pretty cool about her, but good honorable mention goes to Valkyrie, or the second honorable mention, sorry. And finally, the last honorable mention we're going to get into in this video is actually the boy infamous Iron Man. So this is a champion that I really like the look of. I really like the idea of. I just think he's kind of, I wouldn't say lame, but his attack loop is kind of boring. I don't know if I'm in the minority of that. He has great attack and he does great damage. I just feel like his attack loop has always been kind of boring to play. That being said, he's one of the highest in the game with Prestige. He is in the base pool Ascended. He got a buff, even though his kit was already good. He's arguably one of the best ascendable champions in the game because of the Prestige, because of the attack, because he's solid on defense. He has a lot of utility. I just personally think his attack loop is kind of boring to play. And that being said, I still don't see him that often in the game. Even though a lot of people have him ranked up, I still don't see him that often. Even though he's not that bad. He does have some good immunities with the armor up passive that he has on him. I just think he is a watered down version of regular Doctor Doom. But that being said, he is a 7-star, so he does get that buff ahead of Doctor Doom. But yeah, Infamous Iron Man is a great champion. I want to give him an honorable mention. So, now we get into our top 5. This list was a little bit harder to make. I believe there are clear champions that deserve to be in the top 5, as you can probably see already. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit right into it. So, number 5 on the list is an OG Mystic God tier that I've always just known in the game as a goat, or a cow, that is, and that is Rintrah. So Rintrah, I will admit, he has kind of fallen off in recent times. But that being said, it's just because there are other Mystics in the game that people want to play over him. I still believe he is as equal power level with most Mystics in the game. If you are playing a Cosmic, you basically shut them off. He is very, very good for almost every Cosmic character in the game. His damage is very, very fun. I really do like his playstyle of rooting the opponent in a corner and just hitting him, constantly hitting him, and then launching a big SP2. I will say he is very crit reliant, but if you do hit that mega crit, that like 1 in 10 chance or something, it feels like, you are eating good. Rintrah is absolutely amazing with that. He's also a very, very solid defender. He is an absolute tank on defense, plus his defensive kit is really annoying to deal with, plus he has solid utility. Rintrah, I still do believe, holds up to this day. I just think people kind of underrate him due to other Mystics being out in the game, such as like Nico and Paviter and all that. But Rintrah is still a very, very solid character, and I have him at rank 3, and he could go up soon. But honestly, anytime I've ever used him at rank 3, he's cooked. Just at a 7-star rank 3 level, he is cooked for me. But yeah, that being said, I love Rintrah. I love the cow, so I think he warrants this top 5 spot. Now, in the number 4 spot, I went back and forth on this, and I just think it's a little bit of recency bias because I have the champ ahead of this other champ ranked up, and I've played with this champ more. But that being said, the number 4 spot, I have Gallon. So Gallon was going to go in the 3 spot, but the 3rd spot, I just kind of gave a little bit of the edge just because I play with number 3 a little bit more. But that being said, Gallon is amazing. It's Galactus. We have a Galactus in the game, and he is very, very strong. He's a very, very strong character, is a very, very great attacker, a very easy loop. Light or medium, light, medium, medium, light, medium, medium, light, medium, build up to an SP1, medium, light, medium, light, medium, heavy, SP2, big damage, fights over. That is a legacy loop. I absolutely love that loop. I use that all the time. He also has great synergies in the game. He has a great pre-fight that you can apply on champions to make them basically a Cosmic Herald that give them extra abilities. Plus, he is a pretty solid defender. Since all the Mystics are getting released and there's a bunch of God tier Mystics in the game now, he's not as potent on defense, but he used to be very, very potent back in the day when 6-star, maxed out 6 stars. At the beginning of 7-star's life cycle, Gallon was one of the best characters in the game. And even as a 7-star, he scales very, very well. I just don't think I think people underrate him still to this day. I think people don't use him as much as he deserves. For one, he looks sick. Arguably top 10, probably top 5 character models in the game. The animations are sick. You throw planets out people, you're eating planets. He is just so fun to play. He's just such a fun character just visually to play. And then look at this character. Dude, he is so fun to look at. But yeah, I do believe Gallon does have some problems in his kit. Whereas you can only max out at 999 charges, which makes sense, but the damage does feel a little lackluster sometimes, especially as a 6-star, when I would ramp up to full and only do 200k burst, which is a lot of damage back then, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit lackluster, but if you take him into armor matchups, he is very, very great. Gallon is a very, very great champion, and I love Gallon. But that being said, I think the 3rd spot just takes the cake. And that means number 3 is none other than Captain Britain. So, another example of how I talked about in the video at the beginning of the video with Attuma, deep dives and the gameplay we saw in the live stream of Captain Britain did not do Captain Britain justice at all. when I was watching that gameplay, I was thinking, why in the world is she getting a buff? Which I still kind of do think of that. Why did Captain Britain get a buff when I believe she already had a buff before? It was a very little buff. And there's a lot of other characters in the game that have her kit already had some stuff to it. She just wasn't a 7-star. I think if they would have just released her as a 7-star and just put her in like the basic pool or something, she would have been fine. But that being said, there are other characters in the game that have not received any love. So why was Captain Britain getting some? And I still believe that is kind of weird that Captain Britain got love over other champions. But that being said, I can't excuse the fact that her kit is absolutely amazing. She's a very, very solid attacker. One of the best for Colosseums a lot of the time. Very, very good ramp-up champion for long-form content. But even at that, she can do short-form content nowadays with the skip SP3 button. That was something she really lacked before that was implemented in the game. If that wasn't implemented, she wouldn't be able to be as good as attack. With the skip SP3 button in every form of content. But now that it is a thing in Battlegrounds and Alliance War and all that, she is way, way better. That being said, her kit is basically just built to SP3, SP2, launch 2 SP1s, and most of the time the opponent's dead. In shorter form content and long form content, you just keep throwing as many specials as you physically can. Same with Colosseum, and we haven't even got to her defensive prowess. She's one of the best mutant defenders in the game because she has Safeguard and she has Neural Shocks that she are very easy to, when you crit her, you basically get Neural Shocks on you, kind of like how Onslaught is. So that being said, it's just very easy to get a Neural Shock on you, and then the fight's it's just you're taking down so much damage. So yeah, she is one of the best defenders in the game, an amazing, amazing attacker. She has some solid utility too, but nothing crazy. She is very aesthetically pleasing to look at too. She's one of those champions when I'm throwing specials, I just love watching them happen because they're just purple and vibrant and stuff. But yeah, Captain Britain, I do think takes the edge. Above Gallon, just because I played Captain Britain way more nowadays, and I feel like she's way more meta relevant nowadays than Gallon. But that being said, Gallon and Captain Britain are pretty close in power level, in my opinion. Now, getting to number 2 spot, an OG, not really OG, I mean, we're in 2022, but a very, very great champion, considered one of the best at the time, and this is Scorpion. So Scorpion, I have underrated him on power level when I talked about the science video. I've since kind of changed my opinion a little bit because I've had to play with Scorpion a little bit with some certain nodes and stuff and Alliance War and stuff. I would raise him higher. I believe he is a top 3 science in the game. I don't believe he is number 4 or 5 wherever I put him. He is a very, very solid champion still in this game. He has so much utility in his kit. He has triple immunities. He has double immunities in every fight, but depending on which pre-fight, he will have different immunities. So he has 3 different things he can be immune to. He has Evade, that is a very easy way to kind of counter. If you get punished, it is a very easy way to punish the defender. That being said, he is also very cool. He has very cool animations, and his kit is kind of weird, but it's very fun to play with. And we haven't even talked about him on defense. He is a very, very solid defender. Nowadays, there is a lot of skill class champions that are very, very good, so it's hard to place him on defense anymore. But back in the day, he was one of the most potent defenders and very annoying to deal with. But yeah, going back to him on attack, he takes a lot of Mystic matchups very, very easy due to the fact that he has 3 different debuffs he can apply, so nobody in the game is basically immune to all his damage. So yeah, Scorpion is still a very, very, very great character, and I have underrated him a lot in the last couple months, and I will say I was wrong. Scorpion is way better than I thought he was. I've always thought he was great. I just kind of lowered him a little bit, but I'm going back to where I was when I first initially was playing with Scorpion. So yeah, Scorpion, very solid character, can do a lot for an account if you pull him early. But yeah, now getting into number 1, was there any doubt this was going to be number 1? My first R5, one of my favorite champions in the game. It's, of course, the boy Hulkling. Yeah, I mean, Hulkling's just... His kit is basically perfect, in my opinion. I literally don't think his kit can get any better. They can't make his kit any better. I mean, he's already OP, but I think his kit is just perfect. He has so much stuff in his kit. On attack, amazing attacker, a great nuke. Has a lot of utility in the fact that he can regen, and he has an indestructible, and he has an unblockable, and he has immune to poison and shock, and he has shapeshift charges, so if he has immunity, you get the point. There's so much stuff in his kit, and we haven't even talked about him on defense. Even Mystic champions struggle to take him on defense, just because the indestructible that you get, if it gets nullified, he gets a passive in this place. So he's still going to be indestructible for that certain amount of time. So you got to play it so weird. Plus he has so much block penetration. Yeah, Hulkling's the GOAT. How can it not be Hulkling at number 1? He's easily one of the best characters in the game. The power level jump from Scorpion to Hulkling is a lot. I just think Hulkling is perfect. I really don't think there's anything lacking in his kit. If you guys do, please comment down below. But I think Hulkling is perfect. They executed Hulkling absolutely amazing, and I've loved Hulkling. I think I have him up as a rank 5. Or as a 5-star, a 6-star, a 7-star, maybe even a 4-star. I have him up everywhere. I don't know. I just love Hulkling. But yeah, that being said, this is the end of the top 5 2022 champions. Stay on the lookout. We all have 2023 soon. Thunder. It is storming outside. But anyways, be on the lookout for the rest of the videos coming out this week. This Wednesday, I'll have another R5. It'll be my 6th R5. So stay tuned for that Coliseum video. And question of the day. What is your favorite green champion in the game? And what I mean by this, what is your favorite, basically, green champion in the game? We'll just say green champion in the game. Please comment down below, because I just talked about 2 green champions in a row. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Comment, like, subscribe, do all that.